Here's what nobody is saying about Kody Brown's newest admission, and why it's even more embarrassing than confessing. What began as an awkward overshare became a bona fide embarrassment, and Janelle? She couldn't resist. She erupted into belly laughing. That is, loud, unfettered, and totally authentic. After the latest ridiculous move on Kody's part to be transparent, Kody said Robyn made him feel safe enough to confess he'd slept with someone before marriage. Not his other wives, just Robyn. Janelle's response was pure gold. She stated, "Robyn learned about it the first month we met. So Kody wasn't safe revealing the secret to his so-called best friend wife, but he was just fine broadcasting it to the entire world? A world that already perceives him as a walking catastrophe? What was he trying to prove?" Then things became strained, when Sukanya quietly suggested that perhaps they had crossed a line. Kody abruptly flew off the handle. But come on, he brought it up first himself. He made it public. Why be upset when someone attempts to discuss something you flung out there to begin with? That's when Kody fell into his typical role. The victimized, misunderstood. He claimed he wasn't playing the victim, that he just needed his feelings, his boundaries, his emotions to be respected. But come on, Kody has a habit of expecting everyone else to accommodate his emotional roller coaster without ever offering it back. The blowback he receives is sometimes brutal, but really, it's not even close to the mess he creates himself. Janelle, ever the master of the most cutting moment, delivered it with a deadpan expression. Smooth and unruffled, she stated, "If I dated Kody as long as Robyn, I don't think I'd have married him." It was understated, but impactful. She wasn't screaming or going all drama queen. She was just brutally honest. And then she laughed again. That same dry, amused laugh that indicates she's beyond it. Her timing, her tone, it was flawless. Then Kody dropped another bomb. He discussed a college sex experience that was not in accordance with his religious beliefs. He mentioned it in the way that felt not quite as real as a confession, but more like attention-seeking. The sort of thing someone would say just to have people lean in and say, "Wait, what happened?" It didn't ring true. It felt performative. What's even stranger is that it appeared Kody was using this information to hurt Janelle, who, let's be real, doesn't want to be friends with Robyn. She doesn't like Robyn, she's told us. She's done playing along. And honestly, it's sort of refreshing. And then there's Robyn, the queen of convenient forgetfulness. Do you remember the whole camping gate, or perhaps makeup gate? Robyn professes that she cannot recall applying makeup in front of the tent, while others were doing all the heavy lifting. We saw it though. There is footage. It occurred. And yet, no one says anything. The producers gloss over it. The cast glosses over it. It's infuriating. The viewers aren't dumb. We recall. We witnessed her getting ready while others were attempting to get things accomplished. But rather than being truthful or owning up, Robyn behaves as if everyone is lying. She dismisses the inquiries, acts dumbfounded, and carries on as if she's under attack. It's not forgetfulness, it's a strategy. There's even video of Robyn and Mary getting makeup and stalling everything, obviously annoying Hunter. Then Robyn tells us she couldn't assist because she was 6 months pregnant and spent the whole night feeling sick. Okay, but weren't you still just sitting there, getting your eyeliner? Her memory is in select. Convenient. And no one ever confronts her about it. Same with Kody. The show doesn't show him complaining about the other wives way before they ever complained. The editing keeps Robyn safe and hides Kody's worst moments. It has been going on for years. And who can forget the caramel debacle? Kody asked each of the wives to prepare his mother's homemade caramel recipe. Christine rehearsed a few times to make it perfect. Robyn accused her of cheating for rehearsing. But Robyn and Mary went out and purchased high-end caramels, rewrapped them, and attempted to present them as homemade. And Christine was the one under fire? It's crazy. And yet, over and over, no one holds Robyn or Kody responsible. That's the truth, not merely what's spoken, but what's purposefully kept hidden, guarded, and cut out. Robyn Brown. Bottom line, she lies every time she takes a breath. She forgets, conveniently, anything which makes her a bad girl, and yet nobody ever confronts her. It is always the same drama. The faux wide eyes, the sweet voice, The sweet, I don't remember. But come on, she remembers. She just doesn't want you to. And then Kody Brown. In part 4 of the tell-all, he even shocked veteran viewers. Kody simply trashed the entire basis of his family, claiming he'd never reselect polygamy again. Fair enough, lots of people exit that lifestyle. But here's the part that really burns. He mentioned it without even addressing his children. 13 kids, and not one of them deserving of mention in his dramatic rehash of history. That's more than selfish. It's revolting. He went from raging about sex and lashing out at the women to sobbing about being misunderstood, all very on brand. But when asked if he'd do it all again, his answer was a flat-out no. Not a single word about the children he helped bring into the world. Not even a mention. That's what made it unforgivable. Sure, abandon polygamy, but to act like nothing good came from it? To wipe out the children who have loved him in spite of it all? He never stops whining about how Christine and Janelle berated him, how their criticism disheartened him. But what about all the harm he's caused them? And their kids? Seriously, are we surprised anymore? Kody has a track record. If his children don't worship him, they're not seen by him. Loyalty to Kody, in his head, is blind compliance. Praise him, or you're not there. That's why it feels like he never speaks of his older children unless they are echoing back his delusions. And let's be honest, he likely assumed when Christine left, their children would follow some cult-like behavior and cut her off. Perhaps that's what did to Christine's mom when she left polygamy. And Kody just figured history would repeat itself. Instead, those children remained loyal to her. Come in Robyn, giving it away about how loyal her kids are, and now it's a competition. He invested in it. He began to believe Christine had set the kids against him, but they didn't need to be convinced. They simply listened. They observed him, and they decided who was worthy of their loyalty. Kody claims the children never noticed the issues in Vegas, that they did not realize the marriage was crumbling. But Christine claims differently. And who are we most likely to trust? The woman who has always defended her children? Or the man who deceives to uphold his ego? I don't think Kody forgets his children at this time. I think he just doesn't think about them. His universe starts and ends with Kody. He can't even comprehend that his kids might love him and still hold him accountable. Part 4 of the exposé wasn't difficult to watch. It was painful. Another tear-jerking tale about how much he fell in love with Robyn. Nobody's interested anymore. That's not the point. The point is how he made everything revolve around him. Again, always. He even stated falling in love in polygamy promises failure, moments before boasting about how he fell hard for Robyn. So is it, Kody? If falling in love broke the family, and you're the one who fell, then you're the one who broke it. But he'll never own up to that. He enjoys discussing taking responsibility, but did he ever take actual responsibility? 3 of his marriages have broken down. His children have disowned him, but nothing's ever his own doing. Ordinary people turn to polygamy because they're brought up to it, as Christine was. But Kody, he's a narcissist, pure and simple. What we're seeing isn't heartbreak, it's ego collapse. He's not broken because he lost love. He's unraveling because he lost control. He thought Christine would fall apart, that she'd end up bitter, alone, maybe with a few cats. Instead, she found happiness, real happiness, with someone new, fast. That's what broke him. Turns out, he was completely replaceable. Now we're watching a man spiral. He's not growing, he's not reflecting, he's just losing his grip. Because truly understanding how he got here would require introspection. And Kody Brown is incapable of that. If you need to see what love and loyalty truly look like, just observe Christine and David. When Suki said, "Is that normal?" and Kody attempted to spin things, David leapt to Christine's defense immediately. That's loyalty. That's partnership. And it's all Kody never provided her. Christine's new life with David is truly beginning to demonstrate how badly Kody messed up throughout the years. When David intervenes on behalf of Christine, you can sense the protectiveness in his tone. He's not only responding to her, he's standing up for her, reminding her, this wasn't your fault. Christine had so much guilt following her breakup with Kody, Yet she realizes now she was manipulated by him. It's such a universal experience for survivors of abuse. And seeing David reminds her she's not at fault in good faith. That's what partners do. Support you when the world has let you down. Kody never defended Christine once in 19 years. Not at all. It's a tragic comparison when you consider it. Consider the time Christine giggled at Kody, referring to her as the shitter wife. David's response was sheer anger, but not at Christine. It was at the fact that she was made to feel like that, and worse, that she was acting like it was okay. That anger isn't unfounded. No one should ever feel inferior. And what's worse, Kody never ever defended her the way David does today. He might have spoken up and said, whoa, let's talk about this. But he went the low road. David, however, knows when something is amiss, and he does something about it. Kody, he's too self-absorbed to care. Kody manipulated Christine right from the start. Do we recall the dress debacle? When he instructed her to leave the other wives at home? That wasn't encouragement. It was control. How Kody manages to maintain such unearned self-esteem, I'll never understand. He's treated his original wives terribly, yet he's never ashamed of it. He's not regretful, not sorry. He's out here acting like a victim, complaining that his kids owe him money, while he's contributed nothing to any household except Robyn's for over a decade. David is a real man. He doesn't need a TV show to hold on to his job. He doesn't depend on another's success. And he's defensive in ways Kody never was. He tells the truth like it is, speaks his mind, and defends the woman he loves. That must have hurt Kody's brittle ego when he heard David tell the truth. And Robyn? She's likely fuming. Lastly, Christine has a man who even treats her better than Kody ever treated Robyn. Can you even imagine how that must feel for her? And speaking of Robyn, the drama between her and the other wives is at a whole new level of craziness. There is something completely draining about watching Robyn play herself as the gold standard for conflict resolution. She says she doesn't fight Kody like a man, but come on. She is trying to play the role of the helpless, modest woman while all the dirty work was done by the first 3 wives who stood up and did the heavy lifting for Kody's mess. Robyn? She gets to ride in on their coattails. Robyn's definition of conflict resolution is mind-boggling. She admits, I don't fight like a man. I manipulate to get my way. Translation, she likes backdoor moves, dislikes confrontation, and makes the entire ordeal into a passive-aggressive game. She insists she simply talks Kody to death until he agrees with her. But everyone who's seen them interact realizes she's not helpless. In reality, Robyn's approach to handling Kody has nothing to do with weakness. It has to do with manipulation. She has learned how to attain her desires, even if that entails acting a part. Christine attempted to have Kody confront their issues head-on, but it would not have been any different if she fought like a man, or did whatever Robyn insists is right. Kody did not care about fixing things. He was not going to hear her out. His go-to reaction was dismissive and controlling. Robyn can lecture as much as she likes about fighting like a man, but ultimately, if Kody does not wish to hear, he will win. And then there's the metaphor about swords. Put your sword away, I'm your wife. Really? Since when does fighting have a gender? Robyn's comment feels like a direct dig at the original wives and how they had to survive Kody's behavior. Sure, in recent seasons, the wives finally started standing up to him, but for most of the time, they were dealing with his constant manipulation in silence. If anything, the other wives simply seemed too afraid or emotionally drained even to fight back, while Robyn skillfully used that silence as leverage into power. She gaslit everyone around her into special treatment, whether it was by inserting herself in other couples' marriages through what she was told by Kody, or by crashing in during his disagreements with the other wives. She always managed to make everything about her. That's just typical Robyn, always involved, never responsible. And Kody? His constant trash-talking of Christine isn't petty. It's a huge red flag. Because the more he badmouths her, the more it's clear. She's still paying no rent in his brain. He won't shut up about her. He can't let her go. He's obsessed. Not because he's in love with her, but because she did the one thing that hurt him worst. She left him. And worse yet, She got someone better. That broke his ego. It's ironic. The one wife who made him feel most insecure, Christine, is the one he most professes to detest. In contrast, he talks about Mary with odd benevolence, as if she were readily disposable. He kept her in his emotional circle, but she didn't challenge his ego. Christine did. That's why his voice is entirely different when he discusses her. He's wounded, bitter, and insulted. Christine's leaving created a domino effect within the family. Kody gripes that Janelle is spending more time with Christine than the rest of us, or even him. That's not Janelle's doing, however. That's on him. The reality is, when Christine left, the fantasy collapsed. The children noticed it. Most of them started to drift away from Kody, and he couldn't handle that. He insists he can't forgive Christine for turning the kids against him, but she didn't. They witnessed everything and made their own choices. He doesn't miss her. He doesn't love her. What he feels is unadulterated resentment because she dared to say no, because she dared to be the first one to walk away from him. He even has the guts to say he never liked kissing her, like he was doing her a favor by being with her in the first place. That distorted superiority complex, where he thinks he had to lower himself in order to marry her, makes his bitterness all the more apparent. Janelle's departure affected him as well, perhaps more than Christine's. He used to appreciate her independence and strength, but once she was no longer catering to his demands, she was a threat. Christine gave him everything: her time, her loyalty, her emotional energy, and he gave her nothing in return but disrespect. He never stood up for her. He never defended her. And when she finally quit playing the fool, he didn't attempt to restore order. He dehumanized her. Now, Kody blames her for why his children do not have a relationship with him. He behaves as if they were brainwashed, like they did not have minds of their own. It is easier for him to be the victim than to be responsible. But the reality is, he's not the great leader that he used to want the world to believe. He is a failed husband, a poor father, and a bitter man who is now richer than his father was, and unhappier. He's so caught up in a web of deceit that even he can't tell one lie from the next anymore. He's contributed nothing of value to the world around him and wastes his time accusing Christine, her children, and anyone else who won't shore up his weak ego. Finally, there's no other choice. Kody Brown is a loser. And if you're tired of reality television, faking that it's holding people accountable, but never actually doing so, this one's for you. How did they fail to handle this mess adequately? We endured 4 excruciatingly uncomfortable one-on-one sessions. We suffered through Christine and David's kiss, which, sure, was a bit stiff. We made it through Robyn's endless deceptions. And we had to endure Kody going on about his rose garden of trust. That all too cringeworthy metaphor, which served no purpose. But what didn't we get? Janelle's response when Robyn nonchalantly asserted that she simply prioritized her money better. That moment was worthy of an entire episode. The viewers were owed to witness the wives shred that lie into bits. But instead, crickets. And more irony. Robyn continues to insist she has no memory of making up her makeup on camping excursions, even though we witnessed it on tape. She does not remember the personality test that they all took, also on tape. But somehow, she has a perfect recollection of the lightning bolt moment when she encountered Kody, which, incidentally, was Christine's original tale. Robyn's selective memory isn't merely convenient, it's dishonest. She might fool Kody, but no one else is buying it. We've seen it all. Her fake innocence, her weird giggles, the way she twirls her hair and says, my house, like a schoolgirl with a crush. She's not just lying, she's doing it with a smirk. The worst part is knowing she was actually thinking about the lie as she was doing it. Robyn avoided the tough questions and then went and pulled that same old trick, on cue. It's no longer a show about a family anymore. It's the Kody and Robyn show, and the rest of us are just reluctant audience members. And could we discuss that uncomfortable moment when Kody spoke about his children? No passion, flat, as if they were an afterthought. But as soon as he began fawning over Robyn, he almost teared up, crying. You can sense how unbalanced his priorities have become. His children get a mere passing mention. But Robyn, she's still his entire universe. And then there was the conclusion, the piece that stood out like a sore thumb. The producers simply omitted Robyn from the last wrap-up. Watch it again. When the show ended, Suki went around giving her standard, "Thanks for chatting, good luck with your life," to everybody. Except Robyn. That was no minor mistake. That was deliberate. I even watched the segment again, thinking I had missed something. But no, she flat out skips over Robyn. Perhaps they shot it and edited it for time, but it seemed intentional. Like, thanks so much for sharing nothing at all, Robyn. Because that's what she did on all 4 episodes. She avoided, deflected, and offered no value whatsoever. It was like Suki was finished halfway through the interview. Okay, thanks. Bye. Don't let the door hit you. If Suki wanted to hold back on Robyn, great. But let's not delude ourselves that Robyn brought anything to the table. Those 4 episodes were a complete waste. A snooze fest. I truly have no idea how anyone watched it. I'm officially boycotting. If this show returns, I'm not watching. If I need drama, I'll watch it on the net. No way I'm wasting hours waiting for Robyn to possibly respond to something real. Even how she speaks, so slow, so evasive, it's tiring. She used to say, "I don't know," like it was her own personal mantra. I sort of wish that I could create a word cloud from the tell-all and count how many times she used it. "I don't know" would be in 72-point font, dead center. That is how pointless her responses were. And guess what else? Suki didn't even pose Robyn the fun question. What movie describes your life? Nope. That was reserved for the others. Clearly, someone made the rules in advance as to what Robyn would and wouldn't answer. No surprises, no truth, just softballs. And even those she whiffed. So, yeah, that's it. No closure, no clarity, just more of the same. Robyn cries, dodges, and plays innocent. Kody pouts and worships her. The producers protect her. And the audience? We get nothing. So, bye. Have a nice day, guys. Thanks for absolutely nothing.